Hey guys, and today I'm just going to be showing you a quick guide made by Exhibit 1987 on the backtracklinux.org forums. And as you can see, it is a how to do a Metasploit attack on a Windows 7 32 and 64-bit build. So if you don't know what Backtrack Linux is, there's a link in the description below to that. So let's just get right on it here. And I'm going to use Backtrack Linux, and of course there are other distributions you can use. Backtrack is just the easiest because it's pre-installed, everything's already set up, it's great. So we're going to change directories into pentest slash exploits slash let's just follow his guide directly. So let's go to pentest frameworks. And actually, let's go to set, because I like using set instead because it comes with a very nice feature that allows you to create a payload and a listener very quickly, and I like it a lot better than having to use the other command line interface that he recommends using, which is the .msf payload inside the framework, inside the Metasploit framework folder. So what we're going to do here is create a Windows reverse TCP interpreter, which is option 2. And then back when he made this, the best encoding at the time was Shikata Ganai, which I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, I'm probably not. But at this point in time, the best, as they recommend, is the backdoor executable. So we're going to be running that. 443, that's just my preferred port because it's almost always open due to the need to connect to secure socket layered HTTP websites, or HTTPS as it's called. So we're just going to wait for this to be made here. And while that is being set up, I actually am going to connect to my local FTP server that I have at my house here. And then I'm also going to do the same thing here. The reason I'm connecting to the FTP is because obviously it's a lot easier to distribute the payload over an FTP than it is over using a social engineering toolkit, web vector-based attack. So I'm just going to use that just because I'm lazy and don't feel like setting it up in this video. So what we're going to do now is there's actually a link in the description to this here. It is called bypass UAC, which is very essential to getting root access, as it is called on Linux, getting root access on a Windows machine, and being able to do that. So I'm just going to choose no to start the listener. As you can see, the payload is now in the root directory of set under the name of msf.exe. So we're going to exit out of that. And then we are going to copy the file. And I think I've got this command right. And it is /msf.exe to yep, there we go. We've got our msf.exe executable here, and obviously It's really not going to do anything on a Windows or on a Linux-based machine. But I'm going to take this and put it into my FTP. Then back over here, I'm also going to update this and take msf.exe and put it on my desktop. And now, obviously, if we were going to do this legit, we would take this, rename it to whatever, give it a different icon, and let's say put it inside a torrent file of a popular torrent, and have this be installed along with the executable for the program. That's how I would do it, but for now we're just going to leave it at that. So back over in our virtual machine here, we are going to go back, and then we're going to change directories into the framework folder, which is the directory of the Metasploit framework. And what this is going to allow us to do, as you'll see in a moment, is it is going to allow us to create a listener, basically, as we could have done up here, but I'm going to show you how to do it if you were just to make the exploit as he describes it on his website or on the forums using the msf payload command. As you can see, that's a little more difficult, especially if you're like me and sort of new to this. So I'm going to do that. I just did that using set because I find it easier to do, and it gives me a couple more options that are just easier to figure out and easier to manage without screwing that up. So the next step is to use the exploit. And as you can see here, we're going to go into the framework, we're going to open the console as we just did, and then these lines of code here are actually setting up what we are going to do in the exploit. So as you can see here, we type in use exploit multi-handler. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but then we're going to set the payload option to exploit, or sorry, Windows / interpreter / reverse _ TCP. And what that's going to do is make a specific listener for this payload here, and it's going to give us some very specific options as to what we need to set. These here are all the different payloads, as you can see here, and there are quite a few. What we're going to do is just type in show options, and as you can see, we have this. We don't currently have these set, so what we're going to do is go to set lhost to this address. Actually, it might just be easier to use our local address. So I'm going to open up a new console, new terminal window, and type in ifconfig, and that is going to give us our local IP address. We're going to paste that in there, and we're going to set that. Then what we're going to do is type in set lhost, lport to 443. That is the listener host along with the listener port. Then once again, if we type in show options, it will show us that we do have the current settings, and they are all there. So then we're going to type in exploit hackj hash hack z. Now what that's going to do is start the listener and allow us to it's going to allow us to what was I saying? Sorry. It's going to allow us to listen in on any requests made by our payload. So then what we're going to do is, as you can see, we need to wait for the connection from the payload. So we're going to start that up here, and actually, just so you can see it work, double click that, you get the request, and boom, you get the interpreter session opened. And then what we're going to do from there is type in use priv, and it already seems to be, actually, that's probably why, session hack I1, and then we can type in use priv. So as you can see, it's already been loaded. Then what we're going to do here didn't mean to do that, sorry. What we're going to do is PS, which is going to give us a list of all the different processes being run on our desktop here. Now we're going to be looking for explorer.exe, and there we go. It is 2964. So we're going to do migrate to 2964. And that'll just take a second to run. Migration's complete. Now we're going to type in get system. But wait, access is denied. And the reason for that is because of the user account control built into Windows 7 and Windows Server 2008 R2 and above, that basically blocks all of our attempts to do that. So now, if we do sys info, as we can see, the architecture is an x64 architecture, so the hash dump will not work. But there's still that issue there of the get system. So what we can do is use that UAC bypass that is in the description below. Run UAC, run bypass UAC. And that is going to allow us to open up another session. So if we click Control Z, move that to the background, yes. We go to sessions, hack I2, and then if we go to get UID, it's going to show us we are still logged in here. But then if we go to get system, we are actually going to be able to get system here. And now we are logged in as the NT authority system. That's basically the equivalent of root on Linux. So then we're going to open up the shell command, which is going to create a process on my desktop here with the command line interface. But obviously, as you can see, it is hidden from our view, which is great because then you can't really get caught unless you have a tech-savvy person or they happen to open up the whatever it's called, the task manager. So then what we're going to do here is exactly what they say. And then we're going to run this here. And what this is going to do is it allows us to, as you can see by the description, the first command allows incoming terminal service connections. The second one here disables blocking any incoming terminal service connections. And then we are also going to run this, which is going to enable the firewall. And then we are going to run it again, but instead of this time we are going to type disable. Whoops. Typed it wrong. Sorry about that. We're going to run Windows. We're going to disable the Windows firewall. As you can see here, it has told us that is now disabled. And then what this does here, this command, it is going to create a new user for us. So if we go to net user, and then let's go and make a new user called secret. And then let's type in a password of ABCD1234. And then we're going to type /add. And it's going to create this new user for us. Or if we wanted to, we could simply type net user, my username, and then change the password to, let's say, apples. So now obviously we have the secret user here, as well as we changed the default administration password. And then we're going to add this new user to the administrators group. Then we're going to click Control Z, yes. Then we are also going to go over here, which is our other command line. We're going to run R desktop, and then this is 192.168.1.2. And now honestly, I don't think this is going to work because all the other times I've tried it, it has not worked. So just bear with me here. And oh, wait, it actually worked. Okay, cool. So it gives us a message that if we log in, the other user will be disconnected, and just for the sake of the video, we are actually not going to, just to keep it simple here. And now what this is going to do is it allows us to create a backdoor that will allow us to basically get back in anytime we wish. So let's just copy that. And what this is going to do, it is going to run the system command. It's going to sorry, not the system command. It's going to run this script called persistence, and as you'll see in a second, what it does is sorry, one second. What it does is it allows us to create an auto run program in the registry that upon running will disable any nope, that is not what I want to do. Okay then. Just hold on a second. It's going to probably give us an error message that we did something wrong, because obviously we did. Sorry, I don't know why that happens sometimes. Run persistence hack R. Then we're going to put in our IP address locally. Then we're going to run hack P, and that is going to be our port for the listener, 443. Then we're going to do hack A, hack X, hack I, and then 300. And what that's going to do is basically tell it that every 6 minutes it will create a request to our remote, sorry, not a remote desktop, to our virtual machine that will allow us to connect anytime, basically. And if you simply type in run, I think there are actually a lot of scripts out there you can run. And I had seen a guide earlier about one. And in case you're wondering, this is the backtracklinux.org /tutorials. It has some great whatever you want to call it, tutorials, basically for don't know what that was, sorry about that. Basically it is great for little things, just sort of getting your feet wet. I'm trying to find where it was earlier. There was a script you could run that would basically allow you to it would do a lot of different processes all at the same time that really helped you with sorry, I don't know why I can't talk right now. It helps a lot with doing things repetitively. And actually, I think this was it. So hold on a second here. So as you can see, there are a lot of different commands you can run. You could do run, just as you see here. This will give you some other information. So you can do run scraper, and it'll just collect a bunch of information. As you can see, it's stored in root.msf4/log/script/scraper. Okay guys, so as you can see, the process just finished here, and it got basically all of the registry values that were there. And as you can see, this is still running. So, and it was not actually picked up at all from the was not picked up at all by the antivirus. So what I'm gonna do here is run this keylogger. Okay, so then let's say if we went here and went into Notepad, and we typed in, let's say, hey world, and if we close out of that, don't save, if we go into this here, as you can see, we got the script, and we got this script of Hey World, which is awesome. Okay, sorry about that. So then what we're going to run next is this script here. Run Windows enumerator and it is going to take all of these here, and it is going to give us the results in root.msf3/logs/wine enumeration or enumerator. And then I'll cut back when this is all finished, guys, so just hold on 1 minute. Okay, one quick note, guys. If you simply Google disable UAC from command line, you'll find that you can actually just simply run this command in the Meterpreter shell, and it'll disable the command line, and then you can just type in reboot, and as soon as the system reboots, as long as you're running the persistence script, you're all good to go. So that's just a quick bite, and again, once this finishes, we'll cut right back. Now's a good time to run this script here. So, as far as I know, that script didn't work, simply because A, UAC was enabled, B, we weren't running a shell, or we were not running as the system, so I think that's partially why. And then, yeah. So guys, this has been a not so brief tutorial on a couple of the features of Metasploit. Again, thank you to Exhibit 1987, I believe his name was, on the backtracklinux.org forums. And until next time, guys, I will see you later.